Hello there. I just bought the cheapest Sony A7III probably in the world. I only paid $550 reduce for this. That's like 370 USD. But unfortunately, this camera is a little bit scuffed. But hopefully, with a few repairs, we can make this almost as good as new.
All right, let's take a look at this camera. So just looking at the front of the camera, honestly, condition is really good. But if we look at the back, that is messed up. First of all, I'm missing an eye cup here and that screen is super messed up. But otherwise, if we look at the rest of the body, it's actually in relatively good condition. All right, I've got my replacement screen here. Thank you, AliExpress, as well as that replacement eye cup. Since I'm replacing the screen, I thought I may as well just get some screen protectors just in case. Okie dokie, I've just got my finger gloves on and I thought that I would just power this on just to show you that the screen does work. Let's pull out the battery, that's really important. And now we have these two screws right at the bottom of the screen. We're just going to get our little screwdriver, remove both of those. Now there's two more screws at the very back of the screen. So once again, your smallest Phillips head bit. Now you're going to have to wiggle the screen to try and break it free and nudge it open. Once you've done that, it's kind of going to open up like a book. And now you're going to be able to see the internals. Don't pull too hard because there are some ribbon cables in there. You can see two on the very bottom. Now what I've tried to do here is I've gone ahead and I've used some plastic tweezers. Don't use metal ones because metal ones can cause damage. Using the plastic tweezers, I go ahead and I try and remove the ribbon cables. Unfortunately, I did not know that the larger ribbon cable has a latch, which isn't too important when you're removing the ribbon cable, but it is very important when you put it back in. And you're going to see because of that, I actually make a huge mistake a little bit later. Even though this is a cracked screen, I still need the frame that goes around it. So the part I bought is only the LCD section along with the ribbon cables. I still need that little bit of plastic that connects the screen to the rest of the housing. I'm just going to go around the frame and push that LCD out. I think I probably should have put some sticky tape on the LCD just so it doesn't fragment and shards fall out. Now I'm just going to go around with some isopropyl alcohol and the tweezers, and using my tweezers I'm going to just scrape off any adhesive that was left over, and that should give me a clean surface to work on and reattach the new screen to.
Here I've just got some glue and I'm going to try and apply that around the frame as evenly as possible. It's a little bit difficult because I am using the tip of a screwdriver here, but we eventually get it done.
Now I'm holding the bottom of the frame, you can tell by the two holes, and we want to slot our new screen into the frame with the Sony logo facing the two bottom holes.
Let's just go ahead and rub any excess glue off. Let's push this screen into the bracket as much as we can just to make sure everything is adhered, and then we are good to go. Moving on, now we are going to try and reattach the screen to the rest of the body. So there are two ribbon cables to put in here, a smaller one and a larger one, and that smaller one actually slots in really easily. But with the larger one, I didn't realize that there's a little clip that you can lift up to insert the larger cable more easily. Because of that, I try a whole bunch of different tweezers and just nothing is working for me, and unfortunately I do not get this done here. So I think I kind of have it, so I put the battery in and unfortunately it still doesn't work, so I realized it has not got in fully. And this is where I kind of realized that I might be a little bit cooked. Eventually I stopped recording completely because I cannot do this with the camera in front of my face, but the problem is when I do that I make an even bigger mistake and I actually damage that PCB that you see there on the camera where the two ribbon cables go into, and we're going to show you that next. Okay, this is the camera now, and obviously you can tell that I've completely taken off that back screen. This is the LCD board that I unfortunately broke. There's supposed to be a black cover over those exposed pins, and you can see that black cover here on my replacement LCD board. So the LCD board just sits on the back plate just with double-sided tape. So before I go and install everything, I actually just want to check and make sure that everything works properly. So I've connected the LCD board to the main camera, and now I'm just going to connect the screen to the LCD board, making sure that everything is connected properly, and hopefully with the battery installed and with this turned on, we can see how we go. And everything is orange. I was really worried. I wasn't sure why everything was orange.
Oh, I think it's just light going through the cap. Yep, that works.
But it was just like going through the body cap. So now I'm going to install some double-sided tape just to secure that LCD board to this plate. Now I've soldered the cable that's coming from the camera through the bracket, and we can get on with the hard stuff. First of all, I've got to connect the flex cable from the camera into the LCD board. It's honestly not that difficult. It is just a little bit finicky because the ribbon cables are the exact perfect length, so there isn't too much slack. but you're going to get there. You saw me turn the camera on, just making sure it works. Now I'm taking off that double-sided tape and I'm going to glue the PCB board into the back plate.
So you can see there is a hole there with a little nub, hole there with a little nub. That's it. Let's close it.
Now we're going to close it up, and unfortunately you can see there's a clip on the left side, and because I've tried too hard to push it into the bracket, I've unfortunately bent it. So here I am with some tweezers. I'm just trying to bend it back. Unfortunately, that doesn't really work for me. So instead, I use a pair of tweezers and I try and push that bracket up so I can fit that little metal plate underneath the bracket. And that fortunately works. Now, just time to screw in the 2 bottom screws for the screen. Now here, I've just got a little bit of double-sided tape, and this is going to keep that flex cable attached to the back of the bracket. Now, once again, I'm just trying to line things up, and I think I've got the perfect fitment, but once again, very finicky because this cable is the exact perfect length, but we do get there, and then I have to install this little metal bracket down, which keeps it secure. Time to screw down the back bracket with 4 screws, and then which are at the back of the LCD screen. Now you can see here, I do have this gap where I can't fully close this back LCD bracket, but
Holy smokes. Okay, weeks and weeks later, we finally get there.
obviously feeling pretty good right now, but since I have a brand new screen, I thought I may as well protect it with a screen protector. So going along here with a brand new screen protector, I think I get the perfect application. That peel is so satisfying, and you can see that bubble go from bottom left to top right. It is completely gone, no air bubbles, no dust. Time to install that eye cup, and we are completely done. Okay, we do get there in the end. It took quite a while. I did have to spend a bit of extra money on parts, like I did have to buy that LCD screen, but then I also broke the LCD screen motherboard, so I had to pay for that as well. But fortunately for me, neither of those parts were too expensive. The thing that it did cost me was a fair bit of time. The first time I tried to fix just the LCD screen, I think that took me about 30 minutes, and then I unfortunately broke it and I didn't realize. But then when I bought a new LCD motherboard, it probably took me about an extra 90 minutes to go and remove the old one and then replace it. But otherwise, everything works. I'm really, really happy. I'll put the total cost up on the screen somewhere, and the touchscreen still works. So everything is almost as good as new. I do have that little panel gap, but otherwise, it is absolutely perfect, and I couldn't be happier. Like and subscribe. I'll see you later. Bye.